What is the Upskis, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GxGamerCast. We're on episode 185 of my little gaming show where once a week I just has to talk about video games, whether they're new video games that I'm playing today, old video games that I grew up with, it doesn't matter. Video games. And today, we're going back into the past, the far back past, 20 years ago. We're taking a look, a retrospective into the year of 2006. I have a little nitpick. When I watch these type of videos or anything like that, anything where people say the year, does it bother you when they say 2006? Or are you a stickler for that kind of thing and you prefer them to say 2006? I don't know. That might just be a me thing. It kind of bugs me when they say and 6. And it's like, why? You don't need the extra word. It's all right. Don't worry about it. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the year 2006. I am feeling hella nostalgia this year. I am replaying games more than I usually do. I am just gushing over the fact that certain games are turning 20 years old this year. You can check out one of my more recent episodes on Gears of War, which turned 20 years old, which kind of blew my mind. I was like, damn, dude, that's crazy. And we're going to damn, dude, that's crazy this whole episode, because every game we're going to talk about, pretty much every game, I would say, that we're going to talk about is 20 years old this year, 2026. Craziness, absolute craziness. But before we get into that craziness, we're going to talk about the news, the worst, the best games that happened in 2006, and some other little fun things we'll talk about from 2006. Just whatever. Just a little nostalgia kick. But 20 years ago, that's crazy. Were you gaming? Were you alive in 2006? I was... In 2006, 20 years ago, trying to do a little math here. I can't. Oh, geez. I was 16, I think. Yeah, at that time, something like that. I don't know. Maybe I was 13. I don't remember. Anyway, I was totally 13, bro. Yeah. Okay, I was 13. I was just getting into my teenage years there. And this was a big year for me. I was really coming into my own as a gamer at that time. We're going to talk about what was coming out and all. Oh, yeah, we're going to get into it. But before we get into it, let me discuss what I've been up to over the last week or so, because it's been a busy one. I haven't recorded in over a week, so here we go. We got movies. So last week I discussed Shadow of Mordor, Lord of the Rings, and yes, I did get the Lord of the Rings itch. I rewatched Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. Oh, buddy. Freaking awesome. I haven't watched Lord of the Rings in, probably over 20 years, bro. It's been a long time since I've watched the Lord of the Rings movies, which is weird because I loved them arguably 1A, 1B with the Harry Potter movies. Growing up as a kid, they were must-see day one theater movies for me growing up, and I saw all of them in the theaters, and I think it was just because the damn Lord of the Rings movies are so long. They're like 3 hours plus a piece. And I didn't care. I bit the bullet, and I wanted to watch Lord of the Rings. Did not want to watch The Hobbit. Have not watched The Hobbit. Don't really have any interest in watching The Hobbit. I've just heard too much stuff about, I don't know. It just doesn't sound like it's my kind of thing. Regardless, I loved Fellowship of the Ring. I don't know if it's my favorite one yet, because I need to rewatch a couple, I have a little bit more Lord of the Rings before I make my decision as to which of the trilogy is my favorite. But they are still all-time trilogy right there. That might be the best trilogy of movies of all time. It's definitely in contention. Fellowship was the one I've watched the most. I can definitely say that. I just like the beginning of the story. I like getting into that world, the setting, the world building, the characters, the Shire. I know some people don't like the Shire stuff. It's boring. Okay, sure, whatever. But it's magical. It is pure magic. It is crazy. And the movie still holds up. I will say some of the maybe if you haven't watched them yet, maybe watch them sooner rather than later, because the CGI, I think, still holds up 85% of the movie. It's still, pretty good. But there's a scene with Legolas, and he's jumping on the big giant orc, and he shoots it with the arrow, and that, and he jumps off, and that part has always looked goofy to me. Even, I remember calling that out as a kid. I'm like, what the heck is that? But, yeah, the movie is still fantastic. The acting, the action. There are a few dull scenes, with Aragorn and his love interest or whatever. And I don't care about that. I just don't. I want more action. And there's some great action scenes. I mean, the Balrog is all time. You shall not pass. I mean, get the fuck out of here, bro. I don't want to ruin the movie for someone that hasn't seen it, but damn, dude. And I followed that up. That's a 9 out of 10 right there, by the way. Even though I've rewatched it, I still scored it. It's still a 9. Like, it might have been just because some of the slow scenes, but and some of the CGI is a little whack, but they're all time. It's an all-time movie. It should be, honestly, they should just be 10. The trilogy as a whole is a 10 out of 10. But individually, I would give that one a 9. And then I followed that up with the Two Towers. Oh yeah, I double dipped into the Two Towers. Friggin' awesome. Getting introduced to Smeagol, getting more of the story of Mordor and the rings and all of that stuff. And of course, the Battle of Helm's Deep, the absolute pinnacle of that movie. Phenomenal. Yes, there are some down points in that movie as well. Walking through the forest is the big tree, but still a fantastic movie, man. I absolutely loved it. Talking about these movies with the homie Jesse, and he was like, "Oh, remember this part?" I was like, "No, that's not in this one." I was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm so excited to watch 3." No, I did not triple dip the chip. I did not watch the Return of the King. I am saving that one for another day, because that's the big one. That's the big movie, and I want to be ready, and I am ready. I can't wait. Maybe this weekend I can knock it down. I don't know. There was a pay-per-view last weekend, so we're a little bit busy. Regardless, Two Towers, phenomenal. Also a 9 out of 10. Just the Battle of Helm's Deep, dude. So freaking badass. It wasn't, I thought the trees got involved in the Battles of Helm's Deep. I remembered that incorrectly. They just fuck shit up at, Mordor and, screw over Sauron and all that shit. It was awesome. But, dude, seriously, if you haven't watched them, they're all time. I imagine most people have seen these by now. They're still amazing, so check them out. They still hold up. All right, now Survivor 18, finished that one off. It was good. Good season of Survivor. I already kind of forgotten about it, so there you go. It's just a classic season of Survivor. It was good, 7 out of 10. My wife and I finished off Lego Horizon Adventure. It was actually I enjoyed it. I think I'm right there with the Metacritic at a 7 out of 10. I think it's a good time, not a great time. The level design was a little bit plain. It was very linear. The graphics were nice, not amazing or anything. It was colorful. I think they did a decent job with the story and characters. They made them very likable, very Lego charm. It's got that Lego all over it. It's very charming, but it's definitely not the best Lego game that I've played. I'm actually playing another Lego game right now, and it's probably better. But it's still a good time, especially if you have I would only recommend playing these games with a co-op partner, because I feel like it would be kind of sad playing a Lego game by yourself. But grab a friend, grab a significant other, a sibling, whatever you got, a dog that can use a remote control. Just get into some of those Lego games, man. There's so many of them, and they're a lot of fun. And I enjoyed Lego Horizon Adventure. I love Horizon, the games itself. So yeah, it was a hit for me. 7 out of 10. I will say there were some difficulty spikes. Even I, as a gamer of almost 30 years, I had some difficulties with this game, and my wife, she's good at Lego games. She's a solid gamer. She just doesn't game all that much, but she's a solid gamer at the games that she plays at. And yeah, there were some difficulty spikes there, which were fine. I was like, damn, dude, this is it's a little difficult. There was a couple of those going on there, so watch out for that. Maybe not the first Lego, if you have a really young child, maybe not this one, so maybe look at an easier one, but there were some difficulty spikes, so look out for that. Okay, Lego Batman. That's the next Lego game we've moved on to. I've actually never played Lego Batman before, and there's 3 Lego Batman games, a 4th one on the way, so dang, dude, I got some work to do. I got some catching up, and it definitely feels like an older style Lego game, because it is. It's from 2007, I think. I don't think it's from 2006, so I don't think we'll be seeing it on the other list today. But regardless, it's still a really good time. Classic Lego. Doesn't have the voice acting in it yet. I'm very excited to get the Lego Batman Q, because it has the voice acting, and I'm excited for that Batman Lego comedy that I love so much in the movie. So that's fun. That's been a good time playing the Lego games with my wife. I just enjoy playing games with my wife. It's fun when I find something that she's into, like when I got her hooked to Animal Crossing. That was a huge win for me, and I just might be able to convince her that I can get a Switch 2, because the new Animal Crossing might be a Switch 2 only game. So we'll see what happens. Something on the line right there. Balatro, still playing Balatro. Finished off the decks, most of the decks now. I think I have just the last 3 or 4 left, so I'm getting close to finishing off Balatro. It is fantastic. Borderlands 3, still playing Borderlands 3 with the homie Jesse. Good time. Having a good time with Borderlands. It's a little samey. You know, it's the same gameplay, or gameplay loop. It's just kind of shoot, loot. But now we're getting to the, like, we found some legendary guns that were, like, kind of overpowered. Kind of lighten the game a little bit. So I was like, we were missing that constant endorphin rush of constantly getting new weapons, and we weren't, because like we had this amazing gun that was just so powerful. There was no reason to use any other weapon. But I like the class that I picked. I like the freaking mech suit gunner that I get. I just fuck shit up. Admittedly, the gun that I had was so good that it was more powerful than my mech suit, so I kind of forgot to use it every now and again. Now we're getting to the point that the game is starting to catch up with us, and now I'm starting to get new weapons again, and it's fun. And like, yeah, there is a lot of missions though. Way too many missions. Like, in terms of side quests, there's probably like 60. Like, I don't even know. We're not done the game yet, but we've done probably 20 of them. There's probably another 15 on the docket, and there's still much more game to go. So there's going to be many more side quests. So what the fucking fuck? And they don't really stand out. Like, there's been a couple of things that were like, oh, that's funny, haha. And, but I don't know. It definitely is missing that handsome Jack element that Borderlands 2 had, that really hateable, yet likably charming bad guy, you know what I'm saying? But regardless, if you like Borderlands and you haven't played Borderlands 3 yet for some reason, like even though Borderlands 4 is out there and shit like that, having a good time with it. Okay, what else? Neva. We got Neva. I'm not going to talk a lot about Neva because I'm saving that for another mini indies episode that I'm going to do. But I finished off Neva. It was like 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours long. So it didn't take me long, but it made an impact, that's for sure. So I will be discussing Neva. And I finished off Thank Goodness You're Here. Another very short game. So yes, I did finish off 2 games in like one day. But it was only a 2-hour game, like not even 2 hours. So, but another game that made an impact. So I'm going to talk about it in its own little mini indies episode. So we'll be discussing a couple of indies there. I still want to play a couple of more indies, add those into the discussion as well. I just don't know which one I want to play yet. I almost started up Celeste. I know I haven't played Celeste yet, but I almost started up Celeste. Instead, I started up Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Oh, fuck yeah. I've been waiting to play this game for a long time, brother. And it finally went on sale. I finally picked it up. Came, finally. And I couldn't wait very long to get into this one. And I'm in, bro. It's awesome. I love Donkey Kong Country. Probably one of my favorite franchises. And one of my favorite Wii games was Donkey Kong Country. I believe it's called Returns, right? And yes, they did the HD whatever re-release on Switch. I probably won't ever pick that up unless I see it in like for dirt cheap, but I love that game as well. Freaking phenomenal game. I actually have a Let's Play of it on my YouTube channel. You can check that out. Link in the description to the YouTube channel. Please and thank you. And I don't know how good. It's probably bad. It's like hella old. It's like 15 years old, and I was really annoying. So watch it with a grain of salt, and please be nice. Anyway, Tropical Freeze, freaking good time. Looks like it's going to get itself an episode because I just started taking notes for it. I'm about 4 or 5 hours into the game now, and I'm like, yeah, no, there is, this game wants to say something, and I want to talk about it. So we're going to be doing an episode on Tropical Freeze after I finish that game off. Won't take long. It's a platformer. They generally take about 10 to 12 hours, and probably about half. I'm at World 6 already, so yeah, I'm flying through that game, having a good time. The difficulty is getting there now. I'm starting to die a lot on every level, and these Donkey Kong Country games don't fuck around. They are hard. Especially for me, someone who's not good at platforming games. So I'm having a little bit of... they give you so many lives, I'm okay. But regardless, I am dying a hell of a lot in Tropical Freeze. And I made yet another purchase because I just cannot stop myself. Picked up Final Fantasy Tactics. It was on sale for like $45 on Amazon. I was like, I'm not going to say no to that, even though I know it's probably going to go down lower than that. That's the lowest I've seen it, and that's in my price range for Switch games, so I went ahead and bought it, and I think I want to play it pretty soon. Hopefully I can get it down this year, but yeah, I want to. I haven't been itching for a tactics game. It's been a while since I played one, so Tactics is I grew up with Tactics. I think I still have my original copy of Tactics. Never was able to beat it. Numerous times I went back to that game, was never able to beat it, got stuck on the same level. I really hope that doesn't happen again in my 30s, where I get stuck on this level and can't figure it out. Now I have the power of the internet, so I should be okay. But regardless, pick that one up. I don't know if it's still on sale, but it was $45, which is a respectable price for a pretty darn new game, I would say. I think it just came out not that long ago, so well under a year this game is. So yeah, I would definitely recommend checking it out. It was a phenomenal game back in the day. Apparently this remaster is also phenomenal, so there you go. And I'll also throw this one out in the world because I want to try and make it happen. I'm trying to be a good boy, and if I work really hard this month, I save all my money. My birthday is April 2nd. I'm thinking about purchasing a Switch 2 for my birthday. And as long as I'm good and I save my money this month and I'm a good boy, I think I will do myself a solid, and I might buy myself a Switch 2, because games like Pokepia or whatever that new Pokemon game is, reviews look fantastic. It sounds like such a me game. I'm like, and it's a Switch 2 exclusive, of course, and I'm like, damn. And there's already a few Switch exclusives over there that I'm eyeing up, like Donkey Kong Bonanza and Mario Kart World. Like, there's a few games already over there that I'm like, I kind of want those. And I'm an adult. If I want it, I can afford it, I can have it. So I think for my birthday, I might be buying myself a Switch 2. So I'll put that one out there. I have to work hard, though. So if I don't work hard, I can't have it. So that's the deal. All right, so there you go. So I might be getting a Switch 2. So if anyone out there listening has a Switch 2, let me know if you've loved the thing so far. Is it worth the price? My big concern is that I'm worried that the price is going to go up really soon, and I want to get in there before something happens, because I know the RAM and everything's going crazy right now, that market, and things are going to go up in price. So if you're eyeing up something now, you might want to buy it sooner rather than later, because things are probably only going to go up. If they're not going down anymore, that's dead. Now they only go up. So be careful. If you are looking to purchase something, you might want to do it now before it goes up even more. So there we go. All right, enough rambling about video games. It was a busy week. Lord of the Rings, holy crap. Lots of video games playing, and wow, it was a good time. It was a good week. All right, so let's get into the year 2006, which was 20 years ago. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, let's get into it. 2006 was a big year in gaming. We have 3 console releases, and the 360 is not one of them, but there are 3 consoles that released in 2006. Let's start off with, I don't know if this was the first one that released, but it was before the other one. So the PlayStation 3, come on down, turns 20 years old on November 17th. Who remembers November 17th? Is that a special date for you? Were you there? Were you in a lineup? Were you waiting for the PlayStation 3 to come out day one? You let me know. I wasn't. I was not. I was still with my PlayStation 2, as were a lot of people in 2006. There was still a strong market for the PlayStation 2. That thing kept running, I think, until 2012 or 2013. Something like that. Now, they weren't getting a lot of support up until those years, but the PlayStation 2 kept running for a very long time. It was a very awesome console, and a lot of people owned it. So yeah, they kept supporting it because why not? There's 180 million of them or something like that out there. I own 2 of them. So yeah, that's crazy. I imagine a lot of people own multiple PlayStation 2s because why not? They were super cheap, very affordable. They were DVD players. They were awesome. There were multiple uses, and they had one of the best libraries of video games of all time. Now, we're not talking about the PS2. PS3. So there was a lot of controversy around the PlayStation 3 when it was getting announced and released and so on and so forth. So let's talk about some of the news that was going around the PlayStation 3 at the time. So it does release. It releases to pretty decent sales. We'll talk about sales a little later on. But a decent start. It wasn't the strongest selling system of the year by far. I'll tell you that right now for free. But there was a lot of controversy, especially revolving around his price point. So there was oh man, Sony had a press conference at E3 in 2006. If you don't remember E3, the electronic, I don't know. I don't remember what it's called. See, it's done now. So yeah, we don't really talk about. But that was the big place for the big game announcements. Now it's kind of like the Video Game Awards. That's where a lot of big announcements, or just like Sony or Nintendo, will just hold their own press conferences. But before E3 was done, E3 was the place for big announcements. And we'll talk about some of the big E3 announcements and stuff like that. But the PlayStation came out at E3 with a bit of a poof. They did not do very good. They were a meme-filled E3 press conference with such things as Ridge Racer, and they had massive damage, and giant enemy crab, all in one presser. Those were huge memeable things during that time, and we still talk about it today. I personally don't all that. I remember the giant enemy crab one. That was, I think, Sonic 06. I forget. He was just like, and here is this giant enemy crab. And it's just like, what the fuck? Anyway, very funny. But what wasn't funny was the PlayStation 3's price point at $600. Now, that's kind of the price that we're paying for consoles now. That was 20 years ago. So imagine 20 years ago, $600. That didn't go over well with the fans. That didn't go over well with me because I was poor as hell. I didn't have a job yet or anything. So, I was broke and was not able to afford $600 on day one. And with taxes, a controller, a video game, you're talking $1,000, bro. You're talking easy like $1,000 with the tax. You forgot about the taxes. You can't forget about the taxes, especially in Canada. We get taxed up the booty. So that sucks, bro. I only knew one person who ended up getting a PlayStation 3 around launch. I ended up buying that PlayStation 3 from that person for like half, I think $400, so around half the price, because he purchased the 20 gigabyte model and he wanted to upgrade to the 60 gigabyte model. So I was like, here, I'll buy it for $400 since it's got some damage on it. It's got some scratches. I threw a French fry at it one time. Got ketchup all over it. It was a thing. It was a whole thing. But regardless, I got myself a cheaper PlayStation 3 way later on, 2008. Late 2007, 2008, I finally got my PlayStation 3, somewhere in and around there. So that's when I got mine. But regardless, some other news around the PlayStation 3 at the time was, I don't know if people remember this. I remember it vividly because I was subscribed to GamePro magazine at the time. And they had an article on the PlayStation 3 and the reveal of the console and the reveal of the controller. Now, if you don't remember, the controller had a violently different design. It was in the shape of a boomerang, like a aggressively large boomerang. Like it was stupid looking. It looked ridiculous. And eventually, this year in 2006, Sony decided to redesign the controller. They ditched the boomerang thing. They're like, all right, we hear ya. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, they still tinkered with the PlayStation 3 controller enough to piss me off because they decided to go with this motion control thing and ditching the rumble. So what happened was we got the 6-axis controller, which sucked. I fucking hated that thing. It was this weightless, flimsy feeling, just awful controller. The motion controls were iffy at best, and it was just did not feel, if you felt like if you dropped it, it would break like a freaking glass vase or something. Like it felt so fragile. It felt so flimsy. I did not like it. Didn't like the bumpers, didn't like the R2, or L1 R2s, and eventually they got their head out of their asses and they stopped trying to be the Wiimote and they added the rumble back in, got the weight back into the controller, and PlayStation finished very strong with the PlayStation 3. It took a while, but a remarketing campaign with some great commercials, new price point, new slim model, great video game library. They turned it around. So, it was a very rocky start for PlayStation 3. Coming off of the PlayStation 2, I think they were a little big-headed, honestly. They dominated the last two generations, and this generation, they did not dominate. They were losing for a large majority of this generation. And, yeah, the price point, the lack of video games for the first, couple years there was not very much going on. Like, you had Uncharted. Heavenly Sword, like, not a lot of big bangers. I think there was a Ratchet and Clank in there in 2007, but regardless, not a big library of video games. But there were some big video games announced in 2006 that didn't come out in 2006. But at E3, this is the lineup of games that they announced for E3 2006. We got Grand Theft Auto 4. Are you fucking kidding me? So already, that's, the biggest game in the world right now is Grand Theft Auto. We are months away from Grand Theft Auto 6 releasing, hopefully, and yeah, dude, it's we were at Grand Theft Auto 4, and that was such a big one. My dad even knew about it. Like, I remember when that game came out, my dad came to me and he was like, do you want to go get the game? And one of his rare moments of kindness to me, he was like, do you want to go out and get the game? I was like, holy crap, like, yes. And I actually got Grand Theft Auto 4 day one because it was such a big news story. It was breaking records left, right, and center. It was this massive media freaking release. It was the biggest thing in the world, and that's been a trend that's continued onward, is Grand Theft Auto releases being huge deals. So they announced it at E3 2006. Halo 3, anybody? Oh yeah, that got announced at E3 2006. That was a big game of 2007. Maybe we'll talk about 2007 next year. We'll see what happens. I don't know what I'm going to do with these year things. But regardless, Halo 3, BioShock. BioShock was huge. I remember the what's the word? The allure of BioShock. I remember reading about this game in the magazines, and I was like, what the heck is going on with this game? This weird, scary first-person shooter in this underworld, apocalyptic, like, what the hell is going on down there? And yeah, that game always piqued my interest. It was always, top rewards for, like, most anticipated game, best looking game at E3, best of show, best of this. So I was winning all these kind of awards, and I was like, yeah, dude, this game looks sweet. You start seeing some gameplay. You see the Big Daddy for the first time. You're just like, wow, this game is looking really cool. And thankfully it came out, and it was absolutely... it lived up to the hype, I would say. Those Big Daddy trailers were absolutely awesome, and BioShock was a big deal. People still talk about it. It's still one of the best games of all time, and still has one of the best video game stories of all time. And they also revealed Final Fantasy 13. And Final Fantasy, this was kind of the beginning of the downward trend for Final Fantasy right here. There were some great Final Fantasy things releasing, but we can all admit, or at least most of us, I know there are some people that die on the hill that Final Fantasy 13 is amazing or some shit, but it's not. It's not an amazing game. It's a good game at best, but it was not the best Final Fantasy. It looked great. Music was awesome. Gameplay stunk, dude. It stunk. Like, it just wasn't it. But regardless, I played it, so I know. I was there. I bought that game day one, I'm pretty darn sure, because I had a gerb at that time, so I could do stuff like that. But Final Fantasy 13, BioShock, Grand Theft Auto 4, and freaking Halo 3. I don't think we have a conference that is that big anymore, but this was like peak E3. Like, E3 was the biggest, baddest gaming show out there right there, and it's been around for... it wasn't around for awfully long at this point, but it was becoming a big powerhouse. Like, the known place for biggest announcements, they're happening at E3, and that was a big one. So the PlayStation 3 releases November 17th. Well, 2 fucking days later, guess what releases? The Nintendo Wii. Oh my goodness. Whoa. So we got the Nintendo Wii releases. I got the Nintendo Wii. I don't know if I got one in 2006. It might have been 2007 when I finally got one. Yeah, definitely 2007. I got it in April of 2007, I do believe. I bought into the hype. The hype went out of control with the Nintendo Wii. I believe it was like damn near impossible to get at the beginning. I remember a lot of people struggling to get it. I'm pretty sure the homie Billy got it like day one, because he always does. It's Nintendo and Billy. They're in love with each other. They're gonna meet. They're gonna find each other every single time. But regardless, it was a huge release, man. We'll talk numbers. We'll talk numbers on that. But first, let me discuss the Nintendo Wii and when I got mine. So I got mine for my birthday. I saved up for it. And I got it pretty soon after, like sooner than expected after my 360. Like, I remember my grandma was like, what, you're not satisfied with the Xbox? I'm like, well, now I have a job and like I can afford these things. Like I've always wanted to have multiple consoles and I've never had this opportunity. And this was the first time that I got all 3 consoles in one generation. I owned the PlayStation 3, the 360, and the Nintendo Wii. I even eventually got a Nintendo DS from the homie Jesse. Gave me the old fat one for, I'm pretty sure he gave me it for free, my dog. Like, so generous, so generous. Okay, so Nintendo Wii comes out. The motion control phase is, boom, kicked on. It's gone out of control. Everything's motion control, hence PlayStation making their controller motion control, Xbox releasing the Kinect. I don't remember when the Kinect came out, but they made their Kinect, PlayStation made their Move, and yeah, everybody tried to cash in on the motion control boom. And yeah, we had things like, I don't know if motion controls is necessarily Guitar Hero and stuff like that, like sort of, but that was a big boom in this era as well. We'll talk about some of the games releasing, but Rock Band was around the corner in 2007. I can't really talk about it because it's not from 2006, but still, I remember it was announced probably by this time. It was probably announced at that E3, and I remember just being blown away by it. I was like, oh my, I can own a little drum set? Like, that's so freaking cool. And I completely ignored Guitar Hero because of the announcement of Rock Band. I was like, yep, nope, that's what I want, and that's what I'm saving for, that's what I want. And I was 100% firm on that. I wanted nothing to do with Guitar Hero until I got Rock Band, because I needed drums. All I was interested in drums, so regardless, that was really cool. All right, before we talk about games, let's discuss some stuff from Wikipedia. Yes, I'm going to Wikipedia here. They're pretty good at numbers, so regardless. Best-selling game consoles in 2006 in Japan, Europe, and North America. So number 1, believe it or not, was not the Nintendo Wii, was not the 360, was not the PS3. It was actually the Nintendo DS, which had a release. Hold on here, I got a date. The Nintendo DS Lite had a big, I did not have a date, I'm sorry. Nintendo DS Lite had a big launch in Japan, and the Nintendo DS was a huge deal. It sold 20,562,969. Nice! Freaking nice, dog, but that is a lot. Almost 9 million alone in Japan, but it sold well across the board. 5 million North America, 6.5 million in Europe, so Nintendo DS was big. That was a big, but guess who's number 2? Wrong. No, it's the Sony PS2 at 12,247,866. That thing was still pumping out units like crazy in 2006, and they had the new one was already out, so pretty impressive, the run of the PS2. Maybe one day we'll do a whole episode on the PS2. The Sony PSP, I cannot believe this, in 3rd place. I did not expect that. 8,946,911. Oh no, I threw an and in there. I'm sorry. 911. Amazing. That's actually very good for the PSP. Question: Do we ever see Sony go back to the handheld? I don't know if we ever see them go back to a pure handheld. I can see them going to a Steam Deck Switch type of console where it is handheld and a home console at the same time. That would be awesome. I just don't know if that technology is there yet for the power that they're producing right now, because the Switch 2 is coming out. I think it's pushing like levels of like, I don't know, Xbox One S levels of power. It's pretty impressive. It's pretty good power, but I don't think it would be like an impressive jump for a PS7 to release as a Switch kind of model, and it wouldn't be as powerful. It'd probably be maybe equally as powerful as a PS5, maybe a little more powerful for a PS6, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm just wondering if they ever would. I know they had some major failures in the Vita, and the PSP Go, I think, was the other one. But the original PSP, not bad. I had my hands on one for a couple of weeks. My homie Jay, he gave me his for a while, and I played Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories, I think it was, and it was awesome. It was really good. I just didn't like the hand feel of the PSP. Like, the analog stick wasn't it for me. I didn't really like it, but I played SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 on it, and the load times were embarrassing. Like, it was like, took like 15 minutes to get through the entrances. It was just bad. So like a lot of that was a problem. So it wasn't very awesome for me personally, but it sold very well in 2006, impressively well. Then you got the Xbox 360, who had a year's head start on the Wii and the PS3. They sold 6,108,697 units, and very weak numbers in Japan as Xbox. They've always had weak numbers in Japan. If they could just figure out Japan, they can crack that market, they'd be doing just fine because look at the numbers. 3.9 million in North America, no problem there. 2 million in Europe, not bad. And then 208,697 in Japan. Like, what is that about? There definitely was a push for JRPGs on the 360. I remember quite a few of them coming out on 360 and being pretty good. Now, did I play any of them? No. Not that I can remember. I played Final Fantasy 13, but yeah, so I don't know what is up with that. I don't know why Japan is not interested in the Xbox 360. I know, which is strange because they're very competitive. I would think that the online market would be very strong there because it's the best on the market. I figured they would be in on that, but I don't know. If anyone from Japan is listening, can you answer that question for me? Like, what is up with the not liking of Xbox over there? I wonder what that's all about. It's big time here in North America. They always sold well here. But regardless, we move on. We got the Nintendo Wii. They move ahead of the PlayStation 3 by quite a lot. They have 2,798,118, and then the PlayStation only sold 1,166,716 in their first year. So not the greatest start for the PlayStation 3, like I said, only selling sub 1 million in Japan, sub 500,000 in Japan, and sub 1 million in North America. No numbers available in Europe, so I don't know if it was it not released yet in Europe, maybe. Regardless, the Game Boy Advance was still selling 433,000 units, and the Game Boy the GameCube actually was still selling almost 100,000 units moved still in 2006, so rather impressive. We can go to the highest selling game totals, or we can go and talk about some actual video games. Well, hold on. Let me see if there's any more news. Oh, there was some big Nintendo news at E3 in 2006. The big one was Nintendo announcing Metal Gear Solid Snake was going to be in Smash Bros. Brawl. That was such a big deal because that was a PlayStation guy jumping over to a Nintendo thing, and it was a huge deal. And actually, I loved Snake in Brawl. I used him a lot. Don't really use him anymore. He was kind of a Brawl guy for me. But regardless, I don't know, maybe because it was a slower pace, and Snake thrived in that slower pace. Regardless, that was big news. They also announced Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, Mario Galaxy, and they also announced the next-gen console was officially going to be called the Wii. So they came up with the big Wii name. That was a huge hit for them. That was huge in marketing. They called everything the Wii Wheel, Wii whatever. They called everything Wii this, Wii that, Wii Sports, Wii Play, Wii this. And it was a good, I don't really like the name Wii. Originally it was called Revolution. And I think originally before that it was called Project Dolphin. I might be mixing that up with something, but I believe I remember it being called Revolution. And, I get what they're going for there with the motion controls. They did technically revolutionize the market for that generation. It quickly died out. It didn't have the staying power that I imagine they wanted to, but regardless, it doesn't matter. It sold a buttload, so that was cool. But that was a big deal, man. That was a huge deal. Metal Gear Solid Snake coming into Smash Bros. Brawl. All right, so that is most of the gaming news. Let's take a look at the best-selling games. And we'll just start talking about games now. We're going to start talking about games from 2006, 2000. Some of these sales might be from 2007, like there's Madden NFL 07, but those always release a year ahead of time, so technically it's Madden NFL from 2006. Regardless, the best-selling game, I'm saying regardless too much. I am noticing that myself, so I apologize for that. I was about to say it again right there, but I didn't. Anyway, New Super Mario Bros. On the DS was the best-selling game in 2006 at 8,640,000 copies sold. That is over 3.5 million more than second place, which was Madden NFL 07. Madden was huge, probably still, I don't know, I never really played Madden. I played a demo of Madden once, and I kept getting penalties for kicking people. I don't know, I was trying to jump over them, but I kept kicking them. It was weird. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl came out to big sales, 4,355,000. Now, these numbers may not be insane for today. Like, they're very, very good. 8 million is nothing to sneeze at. 5 million is nothing to sneeze at. But most game companies now are looking at much higher numbers to be successful than what they used to look at 20 years ago, obviously. Now you're looking at, insane numbers like Arc Raiders that have like hundreds of thousands of players playing it every single day, so they got millions of downloads and millions of users, and like Minecraft and stuff like 150 million sales and shit like that. Like, absolutely crazy astronomical numbers, but these were the best numbers of 2006. So we have Pro Evolution Soccer 6, that sold very well at 4.2 million, almost 4.3. Brain Age was big back in the day. I actually never played Brain Age. Train your brain in minutes a day. It was a genius idea to put that on Nintendo DS. You're commuting every day, you're on the bus, you're on the train. Why not train your brain? That's my excuse to playing video games every morning, is I'm stimulating my brain. I'm getting ready for my day, blah blah blah. It's been working, so try it out. 4 million copies right there. Final Fantasy 12 PS2. That was a big game. I love Final Fantasy 12, 4 million copies in 2006. You got more brain training for the DS. That sold almost 4 million as well, so very popular. Animal Crossing Wild World, also on the DS. These DS games are selling like crazy. 3.5 million for the Animal Crossing, what was it called? Wild World on the DS. I don't think I've ever seen that. That might, is there another Animal Crossing? I think there's one on 3DS that I was always interested in. I haven't gotten it. FIFA 07, Need for Speed Carbon, and The Sims 2 Pets round out your top 10 selling games at about 3 million apiece. So very impressive. Very impressive sale numbers right there. Not the craziest, like I said, but still really good. All right, and now for some shits and giggles, just because I thought it was interesting, let's take a look at some of the video game release media stuff that released in 2006. What I was trying to say there is, let's take a look at some video game media related items that got released. So TV shows and movies. First up, we got Grandma's Boy. Is a movie that I've actually watched numerous times. Actually really enjoyed it. I know it's a cult classic. Do not watch this movie with your grandma. I watched this movie with my grandma, and it's very inappropriate. She was very upset, and it was not a good time. But then I watched it numerous times, by myself or with friends and stuff like that. Very funny, very crude, very vulgar, but it was freaking hilarious. I loved it. Silent Hill, released in April 21, 2006. Actually never seen this one. I've seen scenes from the movie. Like, I've obviously seen the best parts of the movie, the Pyramid Head stuff and all that, but I heard some decent things about this movie. It's not the best movie, but it's not the worst movie ever, so I don't know, maybe worth a watch. You got Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea. I imagine that is a movie. I only watched the first 3 Pokemon movies, and then, I was done. We got Viva Pinata, which I believe was a TV show. I never watched it. I believe, I don't know if I was really watching YTV at the time, but I think that's what it was on. You have the movie Dead or Alive, which apparently was just awful. Did not watch it. Dance Revolution, I have no idea what that is, but, I don't know, it was on CBS, so that's something. Mega Man Star Force, and, I'm going to have a real tough time with this one. Jeki Jopan, I'm not going to do it. I have no idea what that is, I'm sorry, but apparently it has something to do with Animal Crossing. No idea, but that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool right there. So now let's take a look at some of the awards that went down in 2006. Take a look at some of the things that were being praised for whatever type of things. So let's take a look here. So we got RPG of the year, looking at Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, Guild Wars Nightfall. We got I'm not going to do every single one. Action adventure game, Shadow of the Colossus. I don't think that came out in 2006, but I think that came out in 2005. Gears of War, Dead Rising, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas, Multiplayer Online. What were people playing back in the day? Dungeons and Dragons Online Stormreach, Age of Empires 3, and Gears of War, winning multiple times in that one. technical achievement. Who was breaking the mold back then? Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, okay. The Nintendo Wii, okay. Wii Sports, absolutely. Gears of War, multiple times, absolutely. Who had the best narrative in 2006? Psychonauts, okay. Haven't played it, but I played Psychonauts 2, absolutely adored it. And Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, taking home awards for that. Game design, Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, fuck yeah. And Wii Sports taking home awards right there. All right, we got audio, we got innovation, we got Dr. Kawashima's Brain Training. How old is... Oh, I remember that game. I remember people talking about that like, oh, dude, I'm fucking 12 years old and I got the brain of a 79-year-old. It's like, oh, what? That shit's crazy. Xbox Live Marketplace and Wii Sports. Okami, Line Rider of all things. Line Rider? What the hell? I played Line Rider in Ski. All right, Game of the Year. We got Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter winning the 3rd British Academy Game Awards back in October 6, 2006. We got Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion winning the 24th Golden Joystick Award and VGA's Game of the Year. 10th Annual Interactive Achievement Awards Game of the Year, and the 7th Game Developer's Choice Game of the Year is Gears of War. So that is allegedly your best games of that year. Oh yeah? Well, I think there's only one way to do that, and we're going to take a look at all the best rated games of 2006 game by game. Let's go, baby. Highest rated game of 2006 according to Metacritic, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. And shit, dude. All right. Top 4 games right here. You put them in front of me right now. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Gears of War, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence. My favorite game there is number 4, Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence. Which game would I play right now? It's Gears of War. I think Gears of War holds up really well today. I think that game still holds the test of time. Is that the right word? I haven't played Twilight Princess in a long time, probably since 2007 was the last time I played it, and on a second playthrough I wasn't having that great of a time because the collecting the tears and the bugs and all that shit was so tedious and I hated it. But the temples are so good. They're so fucking good, and the boss fights, Gears of War, these are amazing video games. 95 for Twilight Princess, 94 for Gears of War, 94 and 94 for Metal Gear Solid 3 and Elder Scrolls Oblivion for those 3 games right there. Then you have Company of Heroes. I played Company of Heroes 2, and that was when I was very new to PC, and it was a little bit too advanced for me, admittedly. It was, there was a lot to manage. There's a lot of like little battles going on at the same. Very cool video game. I wish I could have figured it out and stuck with it, but I did not, and now I don't have a PC, so yeah, I don't play Company of Heroes and don't really plan on it. But 93 back then. Then there's this little game called Dwarf Fortress. Doesn't have a lot of reviews. Only 9 critics actually reviewed this game, but it holds a 93. I don't know anything about it, but it looks interesting. Then you have Okami. I absolutely adore Okami. I am going to be doing a replay of Okami very soon. I think I want to do it for spring. Seems like a spring or a fall game. That's when I wanted to play it. Didn't get it done in fall, so I'm hoping for spring I can get a replay of Okami and have an episode for Okami because it absolutely deserves one. One of the most underrated video games of all time, like without a question. An unbelievable... If you like Legend of Zelda games, you're going to love Okami because it's very similar. You're just playing as a wolf, and it's very cool. Very, very cool. Final Fantasy 12, a 92 on Metacritic, 93 for Okami, 92 for Final Fantasy 12, and Final Fantasy 12 is one of my favorite, if not, is still my favorite Final Fantasy game. It's up there. I need to replay it. I want to replay it on Switch whenever I decide to buy it on Switch. I do want to do a replay of 10 and 12 and see which ones. I know 10 isn't up there. I really enjoy 10, but it's not my favorite. But 12, 16, 12, 16, 7 remake for sure, 7 original, 9 original, yeah, for sure. Those games absolutely are, like, I really like Final Fantasy, but 12 was, like, way more strategic, and they had the Gambit system, and it was, like, very, very deep and crazy. You can make people do some wild shit, like auto healing at 10% and shoot off a fucking fireball at this percentage. It was wild. It was a wild video game. I really want to get back into it. It was beautiful, gorgeous graphics back then on the PS2. I remember renting this game, and I remember like actually getting really deep into that game in a weekend and just being really impressed with myself. I was like, damn, dude, like I didn't need any guides. I didn't need any of this help. And I just got through this game by myself. I got like fucking like really deep into that game. I was very impressed. Guitar Hero 2. Oh yeah, that was a big one. 92% on Metacritic. Some big songs in that one. I remember Sweet Child of Mine was a big one. Beast and the Harlot, I think, from Avenged Sevenfold was in there. Fucking awesome game. I did not play them until much later. I got Guitar Hero 3 dirt cheap at a Best Buy, or a Future Shop actually. Dirt cheap. It was probably like $50 with a guitar. I played it all weekend long, so I love Guitar Hero. I just like Rock Band better, without a question. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, holding a 90 on Metacritic, and I played this game. I remember renting it. It was very advanced. It was very warfighter-y, and I liked it. It was very cool. Third-person shooter with some very advanced warfare mechanics. It was very cool. Don't remember a lot about it, but I remember enjoying it. I wish I got it on 360. I might actually... I don't know if I own those ones. I know I have Vegas. I have those. GTR 2 has a 90 on Metacritic. That's a racing game. Then you got a soccer game, 89. New Super Mario Bros, 89. So this was the big new revamp of Mario 2D style, new look. And personally, I'm not the biggest fan. Like, I like them. They're a little kid-friendly, which is fine. They're supposed to be for kids and all that. But I'm not the biggest fan of them. Like, I played this one. It was good. I don't think I finished it, but I enjoyed it. I like that you can get really big and you can destroy everything in sight. That was cool. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas. That was a sick game. I never finished it. I only played it a couple of times, but it was very cool. Like, tactical shooter. Very enjoyable. Medieval 2, Total War, can't really say much about that one. I have not played it or really know anything about it. Tekken 5, Dark Resurrection, 88 on Metacritic. I have only played Tekken 3, possibly 4 back in the day on PS2, Tekken 3 on PS1. I like Tekken. I'm just not a big fighting game guy. I don't really do fighting games, but there is that. You have Armadillo Run. I have never heard of this game. Armadillo Run is a physics-based puzzle game. All right. Cool, 88 on Metacritic. You have Half-Life 2 Episode 1 with only an 87 on Metacritic. I'm surprised about that one. I know Episode 2 kind of ramps it up a lot more, and that's like the very highly praised one, but still, 87. Siphon Filter Dark Mirror, Elite Beat Agents. I've always wanted to play Elite Beat Agents. I have not played it before, but if they ever re-release that or something, I would be rather interested in that one, because that looks like a fun kind of rhythm game where you gotta, be on time, and they do funny, wacky stuff as Elite Beat Agents. You have Bully. That was an awesome game. I did an episode on Bully not too long ago, so you can go check that one out. 87 on Metacritic. You have Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops, 87. A lot of 87s. A lot of really, really solid video games. Worldwide Soccer Manager, Warhammer 40,000, Dawn of War, Dark Crusade. I actually finally just got into the Warhammer 40,000 series, and damn, I did not know they went back that far. That is crazy out of 10. All right, we'll do the second page as well. I was only going to do the first page, but the first game on the second page is Kingdom Hearts 2, and I know people would probably be upset if I didn't talk about Kingdom Hearts 2. I don't think I can't remember if I rented Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2. I rented one of them, didn't really vibe with it all that much, but I actually recently purchased the collection on PlayStation 4. That's like the 1.5 and 2.5 edition. So I'm hoping I could get into those and see if that is a way for me to get into the Kingdom Hearts franchise, because I've only given it a little shot, like a weekend. I tried it. It wasn't really for me, but I still really want to give it a shot, because I know people absolutely adore these games. Some people just kind of overrate them a little bit. I think that's the problem. I think they're probably great games, but some people hold them up there as like 10 out of 10 masterpieces, which is, you can have your opinion. Resistance Fall of Man. I actually really like this video game. A buddy of mine and we crushed this game in one sitting. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. And it was actually one of the leading reasons why I wanted to get a PlayStation 3. Because I'm like, yo, this Resistance game is legit. It might be the Halo of PS3. And in my honest opinion, I think Resistance and Killzone did very well on PlayStation 3. I thought they were both very good video games. We got Galactic Civilizations 2, Dreadlords, never heard of it. Fight Night Round 3. Oh, damn. What happened to Fight Night? Where'd those games go? Like, they were so fun. I played the shit out of Fight Night Round 4 with Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson on the cover. Oh, good times, man. Like, just busting up people with the thumbsticks. So much fun. Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories, which I believe was the PS2 port of the PSP game. 86. Castlevania Portrait of Ruin, I believe that is the DS game. Metroid Prime Hunters, that's a DS game. Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition Remix. I know that's a big one for some people. I feel like the homie Kyle probably put in 8,000 hours in this game if he had it. You have Daxter at 85. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Double Agent. I have not played that one. Dead Rising. I always wanted to play Dead Rising. Did not play Dead Rising. I played Dead Rising 2. Really, really enjoyed Dead Rising 2, except for the final boss. That final boss can go fuck itself. Viva Pinata. Another game I've always wanted to play. I actually have it downloaded on my Xbox right now. Viva Pinata, because it seems like a timeless game. Like, the art style and everything seems fun. It's a simulation farming style kind of game, so, my kind of jam. And, just never gave it a shot. But maybe one day soon I will. 84 on Metacritic. GT Legends, you got Space Rangers 2, Rise of the Dominators, what a name. Tetris on the DS, NBA 2K7 with Shaq on the cover playing for the Heat. Guild Wars Factions, you got Rise of Nations, Rise of Legends, that's a stupid name. Defcon, Everybody Dies, not a great name either. A lot of PC games coming out right here. Guild Wars Nightfall, Disgaea 2, Dark Hero Days, Valkyria Profile 2, Silmeria. I always wanted to play this one as well. This game had a huge feature in my GamePro magazine. They gave it a really good score, and it looked awesome, and just never played that one. Sid Meier's Civilization 4, Warlords, and Final Fantasy 11, Treasures of Ot Urgan. I remember that being on a list for the worst named games, and I can agree with that. All right, so those are the best games. What about the worst games? All right, let's take a look. The worst game of 2006, according to Metacritic, was Terra Wars New York Invasion. So you have that. Let's take a look at the other worst games of the year. You got World War II Combat Iwo Jima at a 26. Oh my goodness, the other game was a 25. American McGee presents Bad Day LA. That sounds bad. Big Oil Build an Oil Empire. Why? Dave Mirra BMX Challenge 32. Mobile Suit Gundam Crossfire. I remember this one. That was an early PS3 release and probably one of the worst games on PlayStation 3. Then you have Bomberman Act Zero, probably one of the worst games released on Xbox 360 at a 34. You have March of the Penguins, Torino 2006, the official video game of the 20 Olympic Winter Games. My goodness. Crash Boom Bang with a 37, Tenchu Dark Secret 37, Bubble Bobble Revolution, Left Behind Eternal Forces, Pimp My Ride, bro. Like, why does that need to be a video game? I feel like that is a game I would try. I would rent as a kid for some reason. That definitely seems like the type of game I would rent. 25 to Life, I actually had a little bit of hype for. Thought it was going to be like a decent Grand Theft Auto-like, and it wasn't. So that sucked. Brain Boost Beta Wave, so kind of a knockoff Brain Age game that just wasn't. Maybe it makes you stupider. I don't know. Pocket Racers, 39. Soldier Elite, 40. Zach Bell, Mamondo Fury. Brain Boost, Gamma Wave, another brain game, 40. Street Supremacy, 41. Brigade E5, New Jagged Union. We got Rapala Tournament Fishing on the Wii. Oh god, that's starting to sound like the beginning of the shovelware. We got GT Pro Series on the Wii, 41. And Shaolin Showdown, a show I used to watch, at a 42. The video game, not so good. So there we go, everybody. That is, let me know if you played any of those terrible video games. Do you have any memories of any of those bad games that maybe they were good to you back in the day? Like, I played some bad video games growing up as a kid, and they were fine growing up. Like, not the worst. Looking back at them, you're like, oh yeah, that was a terrible video game. But while you're growing up playing them, they're not that bad. Regardless, let me know if you played any of those video games. Were you a gamer in 2006? Were you born in 2006? Like, let me know. What's your story with the year 2006? If you have a story, if you weren't born yet, then sucks to suck, I guess. I don't know what to tell you, kid. So, regardless, that was awesome. I really like going back and checking out 2006. That was a big year. Nintendo Wii, the PlayStation 3, the Nintendo DS. Like, that's, what is that, 7th generation, 6th generation? Really it started there. in 2006. Now all the competitors are in the ring and they're fighting together, and it was awesome. Games were starting to come out. It was a little slow at the start, but once 2007 rolled around, they really started to kick it off. But there was a lot of great games in 2006. Legend of Zelda, Gears of War. We went through them all. Well, not all of them, but we went through most of them. All right, there we go, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. You're awesome. You want to be even more awesome than you already are, make sure you're reviewing the podcast and sharing it around with a few of your friends, maybe an enemy or two, why not? And make sure you go check out the YouTube channel. The link should be in the description, so just follow that. Go subscribe over there on YouTube. I upload all these episodes over there, so if you want to listen to them over there for whatever reason, you may go ahead. That's why I put them over there, for anyone's viewing pleasure. All right, so there we go. In terms of what else we got going on, Tropical Freeze will definitely be getting an episode. We got... What other episodes am I working on right now? We got the 2000s... Oh, with my favorite characters. We got indies. We got the indies. Yeah, okay. So there's some more episodes coming out for sure. We're definitely going to keep going here. We got top Wii games. Oh yeah, we got lists. We got more lists to go through, so don't worry. We're still keeping up the content over here, and we'll be back again with some GX Plus games.